Welcome back. This is Professor Ridge and today's lesson on section 8.5, equations reducible to quadratics. In this section we're going to basically look at equations that are not quadratic equations, but they behave like quadratic equations. So let's look at exercise 15 from the book. And you see we have a fourth degree polynomial, which is not a quadratic. Remember, a quadratic is an x squared, a second degree polynomial. But quadratic equations have, this is a quadratic equation, has three terms generally, sometimes less, but basically the x squared, that's what we're looking for. So if I look at this problem 15, we got x to the fourth, 13x squared, 36, has three terms, kind of like quadratic equation. And this middle term, if I square it, that gets me my first term, the degree. So what we do is we do what we call a substitution. We're going to let u equal x squared. And see, if you square both sides, u squared would be the same thing as x squared squared, which is x to the fourth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace x squared with u squared. I'm going to replace 13x squared with 13. So the x squared is u. And you can see that this is now a quadratic equation. So, if it's a quadratic equation, we use our techniques. If it factors, let's factor it. If it doesn't, we use quadratic formula. So what are factors 36 that add to 13? So we're going to do u, 36, 9 and 4. Bigger one's negative. You get positive 36, they both have to be negative. Now we're going to solve it. U minus 9 equals 0, or u minus 4 equals 0. So u, add 9 to both sides, equals 9, or add 4, u equals 4. But we're not solving for u, we're solving for x. So we need to substitute back. U is x squared, so now we're going to substitute back. So u is x squared. X squared equals 9. X squared equals 4. And then we can use the square root principle. We can square root both sides. So x equals plus or minus square root of 9. Or x equals plus or minus square root of 4. So we get four answers. X is plus or minus 3 and plus or minus 2. So there you go. Okay, let's look at number 20. I get 9x to the fourth minus 38x squared plus 8 equals 0. Again, we're going to let x equal, not x, we're going to let u equal x squared. So that means u squared would be x to the fourth. Now, personally, I don't do the substitutions. I just leave them as x's, no big deal. But you know, I'm just in my head thinking it's x squared squared. But for a lot of people, especially when you're first learning this, it's better to make substitutions so you can explicitly see that it's a quadratic equation. Okay, so I got 9u squared minus 38u plus 8. Factor 72 to add to 38. So 1 and 72, 2 and 36. There we go. So we're going to get, I'm going to use the ridge method. So let's see, 9u, 9, so 2 and 36. Let's see, nothing comes out of the first one, 9 comes out of the second one. So we got 9u minus 2 u minus 4 equals 0. Solve it. 9u minus 2 equals 0. You're going to set each equal to 0 and solve. So let's see. Just skipping some work. I'm going to add 2, divide by 9. I'm going to add 4, divide by 1. Okay, now substitute back. U is x squared. And then we solve these using the square root principle. So x equals plus or minus square root of 2/9, which is plus or minus square root of 2 over 3. 4 plus or minus square root of 4, which is plus or minus 2. So again, we get 4 answers. Okay, let's look at number 24 here. And again, anytime you see parentheses, you know, it's a good idea to view that as just think of it as one number. So again, we're going to let u be the parenthesis. Just think of it as one number. So that's going to be u squared minus 12u plus 12 equals 0. Oh, I copied it wrong. It should be plus 20. Sorry. Okay, so what are factors of 20 that add to 12? Factors of 20 that add to 12. So let's see. 5 and 4, no. 10 and 2. Both of them are going to be negative. So now, u minus 10 equals 0, or u minus 2 equals 0. So u equals 10, or u equals 2. Substitute back. U is x squared minus 2. X squared minus 2. So add 2 to both sides. X squared is 12. And then we're going to square root both sides. So x equals plus or minus square root of 12, which we know is 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. So 2 comes out, 3 stays inside. Here we're going to add 2, so x squared is 4. So x equals plus or minus 2. And again, 4 answers. Alright, so let's look at 26. Now this is an alternate method to solve a radical equation if it has this quadratic form. You know, 3 terms, the middle term square root of r, the first term is r. So if you let u equal the square root of r, so generally it's that middle term, you let your u substitution be the middle one. And then if you square both sides, if you get the first term, then you're in business, right? So we can do this substitution. U squared is going to be r. Square root of r is going to be u. So this is 2u. You see now it looks like a quadratic equation. So what are factors of 6 that subtract to 2? See, factors of 6 is subtract to 2. 6 and 1, 2 and 3, none. So I got to use quadratic formula. Opposite of b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So let's see, opposite of b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac. So 4 times 1 times 6 is 24. Negative times negative. Positive. 2a. So this is going to be, u is going to be 2 plus or minus square root of 28 over 2. Which is going to give me 2 plus or minus 2 square root of 7. And then I can factor out a 2 out of all of these. Okay, so we got u equals 1 plus or minus square root of 7. Now, the problem is, this is u, we got to solve for r. So u, we substitute back the square root of r. And then we're going to square both sides to get rid of the square root, and it's just solve for r. So we're going to get 1 plus 2 square root of 7 plus 7. So it's 8 plus 2 square root of 7. And if you don't know what I'm doing, I'm just doing 1 plus square root of 7 times 1 plus square root of 7 using the shortcut formula. A plus b squared is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. A is 1 and b is square root of 7. So r is 1 squared plus, or in this case it's going to be minus, 2 times 1 times square root of 7. So it's 2 square root of 7 plus square root of 7 squared is just 7. Now, remember when we talked about if you square both sides, you have to check to make sure you don't have any extraneous solutions. And so you plug both of these in to the original problem. So we're not checking just to check to see if we get our math right. We're checking to see if we got a solution that's not really a solution to the original problem. So we have to check it. So 8 plus 2 square root of 7 minus 2 square root of plus 2 square root of 7 minus 6 equals 0. So I just punched that in my calculator. Let's see, 8 plus 2 times square root of 7 minus 2 times square root of 8 plus 2 square root of 7 minus 6, 0. So we get 0 equals 0, check. And then we do the next one. So I'm going to check this one. 8 minus 2 square root of 7 minus 2 times square root of 8 minus 2 square root of 7 minus 6, and see if that equals 0. And the answer is no, it doesn't. So that one you throw away. It's extraneous. So we only have one solution for this one. Alright, let's look at 48. It says find all the x intercepts of the given function. If none exists, state this. So for 48, our function is 3x plus 10 square root of x minus 8. So similar to that last one. We're going to let, oh, that should be x. We're going to let u equal square root of x. So u squared is just x. So we're going to get, now remember, to find x intercepts, we're going to let also y equals 0, which is the f of x, and solve for x. So we're going to let f of x equals 0, and we're going to solve for x. We're going to do our u substitutions now. 3u squared plus 10u minus 8. Facts 24 to subtract to 10. 12 and 2. So let's see, we got 3u, 12 and 2. Bigger one's positive, signs are different. It's really scratch work. Okay, so 3 comes out of the 3 and 12, leaves us the u plus 4, 3u minus 2, and we get u plus 4 equals 0, or 3u minus 2 equals 0. So u is negative 4, or we're going to add 2 and then divide by 3. Now remember, we're not solving for u, we're solving for x. So again, we're going to substitute back, square root of x, square both sides, x equals 16. So that's square root of x, square both sides, so x is 4/9. And then we just got to check in the original problem that this gives us 0 because we squared both sides. So if we check f of 16, we want to make sure we get 0. So let's see, 3 times 16 plus 10 times square root of 16 minus 8, which is 48, plus 40 minus 8, which is not 0. So that one's no good. Then we check the 4/9. 3 times 4/9 plus 10 times square root of 4/9 minus 8. So we're going to get 4/3 plus, see, this is 10/3, that's 20/3, which equals 0. So that's 1. So our only x-intercept is 4/9, 0. That's our x-intercept. Okay. Alright, so that looks like it. So that's the end of section 8.5. Go to My Math Lab, complete your exercises there, and I'll see you next time.